Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. Okay, this is going to be kind of a serious video. And what it is, I get a lot of ridicule, and not a lot, but I get some ridicule. I get some wise-ass remarks and stuff like that in the comments. I don't get them, I don't know why, I don't ever get them to my face, but on the comments. And normally the people that do that are either they're aggressors, they're the bullies in society, they have some kind of problem, or they're just flat stupid, one or the other. I say, I make my videos not to tell you how to do things. I'm giving you something to think on. I'm giving you something to build on. And I don't share everything I know with you. But like I say, I'm still active in the work that I do. And but one of the things, and I've mentioned it before, I didn't go into this much detail, but I've mentioned it before. One of the things that I use, and it's very effective, and that is a car alarm. And I don't put the car alarm in the car. Well, I got it in the car too, but I use it for different things. And I have, when I owned a house, I had it in my house. All my businesses, I've had it in my businesses. And the thing is, and I've used them different ways. I'm not going to go into all the detail, but I've been able to use that system and use my imagination and add to the system. And it's made it where I could, even when the odds were 20-1, I could use it where they didn't know there was 20 of them by the time I got done with them. And the thing is, and I've mentioned it before, aggressors, they have a plan already. They know what they're going to do. And when things don't quite work out the way they expect it to go, and it really weakens them a lot. And if you, as the one using self-defense, defending yourself against these people, if you have good plans in place, your plans are going to trump whatever wimpy plans they had. And I say, what I'll do is I'll use the car alarm. I'll get a little old battery, like a motorcycle battery, so it'll be running on a separate system. And then I can put it any place, and it works with electric or no electric because it has its own power source. I say I could use it to I use it to repel attackers, robbers, intruders, anybody that means harm to me. I even have it set up in a toolbox, so it's portable. I can move it different places, and I can use it for different things. I've got other accessories attached to it, so it can do other things. And what you do is you're using the remote control, the panic button on the remote control. And what it's going to do is it's going to make you appear far more than whatever, if it's just you, like I say, I'm by myself most of the time, or if I'm with a team, when I use it, it appears I'm with a whole lot of people. So it's very useful, very inexpensive. When I do classes or we're doing a BS thing, brainstorming, you can ask me about it, and I can go into detail. When I'm face to face with people, I'm much more generous with information. But like I say, not everybody that watches my videos have good thoughts for me. I know some of my threats watch my videos, so that's why I can't share everything. But the importance of a car alarm being set up properly, being involved in your whatever plans you have, is very important. Now, it's funny because when I'm when I lived in the city, and I didn't live in the city very much, but when I did, I even had it set up with that. And and it wasn't just one little alarm. I mean, it kicks on a series of, I get everybody's attention. And so even in the city, that brings out, all the neighbors are coming out to see what's going on. And you realize aggressors don't like an audience. So that's one of the reasons why I used it in the city. I use it in the country also, when I lived out in the country. It's, I don't know if I even told the story about that. My wife, when we lived out in the country, we were about a half a mile off the road. I mean, it took you a half a mile to get to my house. And someone broke into our house. And they didn't take much. But what it was, they found out how easy it was to get into my house. And this was at the time early on in my marriage, and my wife didn't quite understand what I do. And she didn't understand how effective I am on doing the stuff that I do. And so I explained to her that, okay, they're going to come back. Whoever it was that came, they came in, they just broke the little window, reached in, unlocked, and went on in. No, I mean, I've talked about how easy it is to get into houses. And country houses, it's really easy to get into. The only problem is, I set it up, instead of an alarm, I set it up with an automatic dialer, and it called me. And so, when it called me, I knew somebody was in my house. So, okay. And my wife knew, in other words, I had a trap set for them. And my wife knew that when I get them, there was going to be problems. So she said it was unfair for me to set it up like that. So I ended up, that's when I started using alarms. I had a siren put on. And I say, so we put it out in the country. When that siren kicked on, I mean, people from over a mile from my house, they knew something was going on. And she told me I had to have a siren because it wasn't fair for me to catch these people. So I had to give them a warning. So that's why I put the siren on. And what happened? I had a call. Somebody was in my house. The siren was gone. I got there. They were gone already. The thing is, this time they brought 2 cars with them. And there was car tracks at my front door and my back door. So in other words, they brought friends with them. And they knew this was going to be easy pickings. And so that's why they brought their friends, so they can go, double the pleasure, so by emptying my house. So it was funny because you could see the tracks, and you can see the track where they're peeling out to get out. I didn't even tell my neighbors what was going on because I didn't want anybody around. I didn't want, one way to say it, I guess I didn't want witnesses. So, but anyway, I didn't want people to be around there. The warning was for the bad guys. That's because my wife, she's a lot nicer than me. So, and like I say, I've used it in my businesses where, like I say, I can kick it on and it terrifies everybody in the business. Most of them were restaurants, and it just terrified everybody in the restaurant when all these sirens started kicking on. Well, they didn't know it, but at that time somebody was planning on robbing us. So, and they changed their plans when all that kicked in. So, and there's more to it than that. But like I say, I'm sharing this idea with you, and you need to use your imagination, twist it around. How can it work in your particular situation? And but like I say, I've used it. One of my specialties, well, like I say, my specialty is hostage rescue. I can go in and rescue people. One of the things that I do when I do that is I can do a building. I can clear a building. I can clear a building really fast. If you know anything about SWAT teams, if you know anything about combat tactics in a building, especially when you start getting multi-story, high buildings with lots of stories, and booby traps when you're dealing with terrorists and they're booby trapping stuff and stuff like that. When you're dealing with all that, I use different tactics than what most people don't even think of. And but like I say, I can clear a building really quick, a lot quicker than the police can. And now I work with, like I say, SWAT teams. I work with special combat units, and because my tactics are just so far beyond than what most people even think about. But like I say, one of them is the car alarm. It's very good. It's very effective. It is something that you really need to have a lot of thought into. It can really help you. You can just think about all the situations that you've heard of, and if they had that panic button, to push that panic button or something like that. I got other stuff. I don't even need to push a button. So I can make things happen, and it really messes up everybody. And but it's something you need to think on, and I'd say utilize in some way or the other. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.